What is good, everybody? Today is September 25th, 2025. Today I took 2 losses in 1 break-even trade. Not my best performance, and I think after I got my second payout, I decided to size up a bit. So I was risking $450 per trade instead of my usual $350 that I usually risk. So these 2 losses did take a big chunk in my profits for the month. I'm gonna go back to risking only $350 just to build up that buffer again, because we are close to the maximum loss. I'd say we have like $1,000 more, so I do want to make sure I have more than at least 2 trades, around 2 to 3 trades before all my accounts get blown. Hopefully not, fingers crossed, but I'm gonna go back to risking less. All right, let's go through the daily bias. So coming in the morning, I was bearish because I was bearish until these prior week lows and this prior week fair value gap. Just because we were displacing so low, we displaced through this 4 hour, displaced through this 4 hour, and I just wanted to see us flush all the way down to prior week low, continuing the sell model. Right, I wanted to see either an SMT get formed with the ES at prior week low to send us higher, or we go down, sweep it, and then go higher. So what happened in the morning? Right, 9:30 opens, we immediately dump. I'm like, all right, perfect. I see a nice opportunity for continuation models. Something I've noticed is that usually when we have 2 5-minute fair value gaps, I personally would just wait for the 15-minute fair value gap to open. It's something I want to test out. It's something I've been noticing. It's like, oh, if we're gonna try to take an inversion off of this, usually there's going to be a 15-minute open that'll open right where my stop loss is, and then we'll trade higher, get stop rated, and then the move will happen. And that's something with time alignment, I think. But this 5-minute presented itself. I didn't take it because the 3-minute never closed, which was the highest time frame in the leg. Right, this 3-minute, we didn't get that entry, and then I thought we were gonna have a really good setup here when we tapped into the 15-minute. But once we tapped into that 15-minute, we pretty much got no displacement lower, except for this. This is a short that I tried to catch, a little bit of a mech model. We had at the time looking at this, right? Sorry, there's a trash truck outside. At the time we had an SMT at these highs, a 1-minute inversion, and then we had these unfilled 5 minutes below, and my draw on liquidity was a lot lower. So this would have been like a continuation mech model. Yeah, so I did try to take this, and then as you can see, we got stopped out. Right, and I was like, okay, fine. The next place that would probably reject is this 1 hour. Right, so then price continues higher. We start accumulating inside of the 1 hour. We create this manipulation leg. So originally we created this manipulation leg right here, and this is where I think this was an avoidable loss if I had been a little bit more patient. I did note this unfilled 15-minute fair value gap above. Right, I was like, okay, we could hit that, but then we got this move that kind of faked me out. We turtle souped the previous high, created an SMT right here, right? And just looking at this, I was like, all right, we're already in an hourly gap. If we invert this after that manipulation leg, I figured, all right, maybe we don't need to go hit the 15-minute gap, but that was really poor judgment and poor thinking. We should always wait for this 15-minute to get hit, because this manipulation leg is manipulating into the hourly gap, but it would be even better if it hit the unfilled 15, right? So this gets stopped out. right? And I guess it could also be due to time. We're taking a trade right at the end of a 15-minute candle. So what happens is this 15-minute candle opens, manipulates the high. We hold this SMT here, and then we get this, really bearish candle down. And I believe it's a 2-minute. I actually entered on the 1-minute. I think I got filled somewhere right here. But there's a 2-minute, right? And then this actually, gets kind of close to the stop loss. But we re-invert this 1-minute fair value gap. Right, we close below this below this candle, causing a change in the state of delivery. I went break even when we hit this 15-minute fair value gap. And I was holding to this 15-minute fair value gap and just this external low-hanging fruit. I did leave some runners all the way down to here because my bias was super bearish today. I did think we could go lower. I thought price today would, reach for this FOMC data lows from prior week, but it does look like we're trading higher now. So yeah, what happened is we pretty much traded lower and then we got stopped out right here at break even. I'm not as mad about this. This one was pretty okay, right? Retap in the 15-minute SMT at the high, 1-minute inversion, 5-minute unfilled. But this one I think wasn't really avoidable. If I would have just waited for the manipulation into the 15-minute and then caught this move down, I would have saved myself from a loss there. But yeah, I think that was the trading day. I think my draw on liquidity for the day was just wrong, and I took multiple trades, searching for that draw on liquidity, and we were a little bit higher risk. So it feels like the losses compounded a lot more than it did, but in reality, I think this trade and this trade were pretty A+, except this one right here. This one might have been very avoidable. Something to note about this 1-minute mech too, something I should have noted is that we inverted this 15-minute candle already. Which kind of, you don't want to be trading into a 15-minute BPR necessarily, so I think maybe this one could have been avoidable as well. But these are just things to note for next time and learn, because I'm not perfect. My trading is far from perfect. But yeah, some key takeaways, and as I keep recording these videos, I hope that I continue to learn, and by recording these videos is making me point out my mistakes and realize what I'm doing wrong. So yeah, I'm not too mad. I just wish I wasn't risking as much as I did, so I'm gonna go back down to lower risk. A little bit of a setback after taking my second payout. I got a $1,200 payout from my funded futures. We still have a couple accounts left. The top steps are scaling pretty nicely, but today we pretty much wiped out almost half of our profits on that. But hopefully, just give it time. I'm gonna de-risk again, build it back up. I know I have an edge on the market. My back testing is good and everything. My psych is good. And just take A+ setups. Something I've noticed personally for myself is that the mech model, it feels like I'm trying to catch a reversal and I'm only holding for a 1-to-1. And the risk to reward on trying to catch that reversal to just hold to an unfilled gap, it doesn't feel too worth it to me. Maybe I need to do a little bit more back testing, a little bit more studying on the mech model, but something like this, if I didn't think about the mech model, I only thought about continuations, I probably wouldn't have taken that. But it is something to collect data on and study about, you know, why is it when I try to take a mech model, you know, most of the time it fails? Because my win rate with it is pretty low. I think it's due to time frame alignment and just trying to catch the top of the move pretty much. Like what you're trying to do here is you're trying to catch the top of the move, and catch the part that's going to go down, and that just seems like super risky to me. I'd rather see something like I'm going down, we trade back up, and then I'm continuing lower. But that's just my psyche and something I've noticed over the past month. About a month. So that's all I have for today. Still a little bit sick, trying to recover. But I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.